Hello there guys and welcome back to the channel. Now, with the early access bundles, I did manage to get extremely lucky and I got myself a 7-star Photon, which, well, actually puts me in a bit of an interesting predicament, I suppose, because you do really want to have her awakened and high sig for defense, undoubtedly. And, well, that's not going to happen with 7-star for a while, so I'm still kind of pondering maybe going after a 6-star just in case. But at the same time, uh, it's 7-star, it's Photon, and yesterday I got exactly enough catalysts to actually take my Photon to rank 2. And then I figured I might as well just go ahead and do it. It's such a rare occasion when I get like one of the brand new champions, immediately, because of, you can only get those 7-star champions if you absolutely wail out on the Paragons typically. And I happen to have enough catalysts thanks to the Battlegrounds and Glory Store resets. For most part, I kind of squeezed into exactly 7 tier 6 basics, 7 tier 3 alphas. I conveniently already had the science tier 6 CCs kind of put aside for some rank up. And then I decided that I'm going to go with Photon. And might have been a mistake because ever since I took my Photon to rank 2 last night, she has been banned in like every single Battlegrounds match except one, I believe, where I didn't end up drafting her. But I have a 7-star Photon now. And I am super, super happy with that. So, this is my 6th rank 2 7-star. And she's absolutely beautiful. Right? So, let's take a look at some Realm of Legends fights. I'm going to bring her in and side quest a bit as well and show some screenshots of my Photon and Battlegrounds from when she was still at rank 1. But here we go. She's basically kind of like science version of Captain Marvel with typical science attributes coming to her. She also does have the persistent charges, which means that the first fight she is slowest. And realistically, offensively, she's not bad at all, which I'm going to show later. But she's not mega super, crazy damage output. She does have plenty of offensive utility, which I like. Like, she has have a bleed immunity, which is super rare for science class, and immunity to power steal as well. And obviously access to that petrify, but she's not the best heal reversal champion, for instance. She can do it. She can definitely deal with regenerations, but there will be better options for that. I do quite like that passive petrify because it's pretty much designed to counter like masochism nodes and conflictor nodes and stuff like that and mitigate mystic dispersion, which I think it does pretty much perfectly well. Also, the fact that you get these 5 Furies does mean that she does have quite solid damage output. Now, we all know by now that Photon is primarily tuned as a defender, but she's one of those champions that's kind of like Rintra in a sense, except I like it better because her damage output is more stable and it's not relying on one big crit. But the point is that even though she is definitely themed as a defender primarily, there is still quite a lot in her offensive kit. Like you reduce opponent's combat power rate, that petrify is quite present. She, again, bleed immunity. She bypasses miss with her mediums from the very beginning of the fight, and she's a complete miss counter for as long as she is in her pure light form. She has access to phasing, she has access to taunt, and all of those are quite cool things, as well as the fact that obviously as most science champions, she doesn't really gain any buffs by herself. And now we can see that once we started the fight ramped up already, there's 36 seconds. 36 seconds. Now this Juggernaut fight is going to be quite poor because of the Unstoppable kind of like hindering her quite a bit. But I do think this Rhino fight was also quite nice. So we had 36 seconds against Captain Marvel. I believe this one is going to be similar, slightly bit slower because we didn't quite start with as many charges, I believe. But yeah, so she gains one of her charges by inflicting any debuff on the opponent, basically. And she does that with her first medium, first and third light hit. And obviously parries still count towards that. And her kind of like rotation in majority of the fights is going to be get to 2+ bars of power, enter pure light form, drop that, you're phasing, and opponents taunted. They're going to use special attack, punish their special attack, and then kind of spam level 1s to finish off the fight. And as we can see, that once you kind of get going, the damage output's not too bad. So that's another 40-second fight in Realm of Legends. Yes, it's a 7-star, but 7-star rank 2. But again, from a champion that's primarily intended to be a defender, and she definitely is a defensive threat, will be even bigger one when I do get to awaken her and sig her up at some point in 2024, maybe. Who knows? But we're going to see here. Another cool thing is that, if she does get stunned, that phasing can save you from that. There are some things that are quite annoying. For instance, if opponent refuses to throw a special attack, then, you're in quite big trouble. So it is a bit AI dependent how well she can do, because if opponent decides to hold on their specials, even with taunt, she's going to run out of charges very quickly, because she does heavily rely on pausing the charges during opponent's special attacks and after you punish them. So another quick fight, and that I think is going to be best showed in this Black Panther fight. So this Black Panther is just going to be super annoying, and if any AI decides to be like that, her entire ramp up can basically just disappear. So here I am at 24 charges, 25 charges sweet. I'm trying to bait out the special attack. Doesn't want to throw it, so I throw another combo. And there, he's just standing there, throwing his combos. I'm going to hit him a couple more times. And he just does not want to throw a special attack. And out of my 25 charges, I have done very little, and I'm already down at 9. And at that point in the end, I just, decided to kind of go for it. And even now, he doesn't throw specials, so my charges just keep disappearing. And finally, he does. But as you can see that normally I would still be at like 20+ charges. And here, just because Black Panther got a bit stingy, that's a big problem. I think that is quite a big problem if opponent just refuses to throw special attacks. Because she, unlike CMM, she cannot gain new charges whilst she is in pure light form. And her charges also expire very quickly. Pausing them helps a lot, but they still do expire very quickly. It's less than a second for each charge. However, I did want to showcase also her regeneration reversal abilities. I believe I have 2 points in this spare at the moment. But yeah, as long as you do have at least 1 point in the spare, I believe, ideally, obviously, you do want maxed, she can basically offset any regeneration and then also slightly reverse it. Obviously, you will not have super huge uptime on it, but that's why kind of this spare is super helpful, because you're either going to be effectively reversing the regeneration, or you're going to be almost or pretty much canceling it out. And then you still end up with a net positive in your damage output, because you're either almost canceling out the regen or you're reversing it to a relatively decent degree. So that was fairly quick and easy. Now we're going to jump in the side quest. And side quest this month actually was pretty much perfect for her. Initially, when I was exploring it, I actually did use my rank 1 7-star Photon. And she does this quite fine because she's bleed immune. So, running recall mastery is relatively decent with her. And then in this month's side quest, you can purify the poisons. So I didn't have to worry about that. And other than that, she basically can just be super aggressive. And with the extra increased damage output, she finishes the fights off very fast in side quest as well. So now I have finally entered my pure light form, showing my level 2. One change that I would really like to Photon is that your charges are also paused during your level 1. I would really like if the charges were paused during my level 1. Now, she's actually pretty much, I believe, designed to fight against Ebony Maw, even though she's not buff immune. That means you do want to pay attention and ideally prevent Ebony Maw from throwing, level 1s in general. So I'm going to make that mistake at some point here. But the cool thing is that you can parry Ebony Maw, because she can parry non-contact hits. And also, as long as you're in pure light form, you cannot miss at all. Therefore, you do not need to worry about falter whatsoever as long as you're in pure light form. And that went down super quick. And next up here against Hood. Again, it's going to be a fairly trivial fight here. Just need to ramp up, get some poisons so we can purify them, get those furies, and get 5 of her furies as well once we enter the pure light form, and then pretty much everything's dead. Quite fun. One thing that is a bit confusing, I often still find myself thinking that I have my phasing ability active when I don't. And that's because of the graphics. Her like purple shining thing is just to signify that she's in pure light form. And it does still throw me off at times, which is kind of, well, annoying but funny, but that's definitely like a me issue. Because yeah, it kind of looks like she's phasing. Anyways, and now here against Diablo, again, you know, just basic, super quick fight. I'm gonna get to my level 1, and yeah, you can see that Diablo stands no chance. As far as Battlegrounds go, I have only used her on attack like twice, I believe. And that was in Victory track, while she was rank 1. And why only twice? Well, because she's too invaluable as a defender in general. And also because now she's getting banned all the time. Anyways, I ended up taking Sasquatch, and here I definitely could have finished with full health, but obviously, you know, I'm not super experienced with her, and I made some mistakes, but it was quite nice to see that she took down that Sasquatch still in 90 seconds. Not the fastest science champion by any means, but this meta isn't necessarily perfect for her either, because you periodically do lose all of your debuffs, and those debuffs include energy vulnerability and overload, which increase your damage output by a decent enough margin. But even though she still managed to defeat Sasquatch, which is obviously one of the chunkier opponents, and here is a nice Rintra fight, where she did take down Rintra in 89 seconds with 99.4% health remaining again in 90 seconds. Again, there will obviously be faster science champions, but as long as the champion is like viable enough as an attacker whilst she's a great defender, I definitely do like and appreciate that a lot. And screenshots like this have been coming in basically since I pulled her at all times. There are some people who do worse, there are some people who do better, but so far the only person that I remember completely rinsing her was Na, who is Kabam developer, and he, well, does have kind of like the bonus of having practiced that fight before she got released. Other than that, without a doubt, people will figure her out sooner or later, but at the moment, she's been putting in some serious work in Battlegrounds when she's not banned. But I suppose getting banned all the time is also putting in work. Anyways, that is my baby Photon. Now, at rank 2, and looking absolutely awesome. Super happy with the pull, super happy with the rank up. I'm gonna catch you guys soon. Bye. Hello there guys, and welcome back to the channel. So we have all the information about